I wouldn't recommend listening to this alone. Many viewers miss the real horror by leaving early. Stay till the end, if you dare. I've worked on dairy farms my entire life, and I thought I had seen everything: animals getting sick, animals behaving strangely, accidents, natural death. But nothing prepared me for what happened last summer. Nothing prepared me for the night when my best cow died, without sound, without struggle, without any reason at all. My name is Evan Turner, and this is the story that made me abandon my family farm forever. 1. The first sign something was wrong. The evening had been calm, almost too calm. The sun dipped behind the fields, turning the sky orange, and the air smelled of dry hay and warm soil. I had just finished feeding the herd when I noticed one of my oldest cows, Daisy, standing unusually still. She wasn't eating. She wasn't chewing cud. She wasn't even blinking, just staring at the fence. Frozen. "Come on, girl," I said, tapping her on the side gently. No reaction. Her eyes were wide, strangely glossy, reflecting the last streak of sunset like dark mirrors. I waved my hand in front of her face. Nothing. I thought she was sick, maybe heat-stressed. But the air wasn't hot. It was unusually cool for June. I checked her breathing. Slow. Too slow. Like something was draining the life out of her. I called the local vet, Drive, Howell, but he was 2 hours away on another emergency. He told me to keep an eye on her and check her temperature. I grabbed the thermometer from the barn. But when I walked back outside, Daisy had moved. Not a few steps. She was now standing at the very edge of the field, facing the woods, body stiff as a statue. "How the hell did you get over there?" I muttered. I hadn't heard her move. Not a sound. And cows weren't silent animals, especially not one as heavy as Daisy. I walked toward her slowly. Her head turned. Not naturally. Not like an animal moves. Her neck turned too far. Her gaze snapped directly onto mine, and for the first time, I felt something cold crawl down my spine. Her eyes weren't dull anymore. They were focused on me. I stepped back. The smell hit me then. A strange scent, metallic and sharp, like blood left in the sun too long. It wasn't coming from Daisy. It was coming from the woods. 2. The silent death. By nightfall, the farm had become eerily quiet. Usually, the cows mooed softly, shifting in their stalls. Crickets chirped. The wind blew. But that night, silence. Too deep. Too unnatural. Around 10 p.m., I heard Daisy moo, not loud, but sharp, like she was in pain. I ran outside with a flashlight. She was lying on her side in the grass. Her legs spasmed weakly. Her breath rattled. "Daisy, easy." I knelt next to her, pressing my ear to her chest. Her heartbeat was fast, so fast it didn't sound like a heartbeat. It sounded like a vibration. I reached for my phone to call the vet again. But she suddenly went still. Completely still. Her chest stopped rising. Her eyes, still open. Daisy was dead. Just like that. No struggle. No collapse. No sound. As if something had simply switched her off. My hands shook as I stepped back. Losing a cow was painful, but this felt wrong. Wrong in a way I couldn't explain. I whispered into the empty night, "What's happening?" The wind answered. A low, moaning whistle from the direction of the woods. 3. The shadows in the tree line. I knew I should have gone inside, locked the doors, and waited for sunrise. But farmers don't run away. We protect what's ours. So I grabbed my rifle and walked toward the woods, flashlight scanning the tree line. Every few feet, I saw something that looked like movement. A shadow that was too tall. A branch that bent the wrong way. A flicker of something white between the trees. My stomach twisted tighter with every step. And then I saw it. A figure standing deep in the Woods. It was tall, taller than any man I'd ever seen on the farm. The flashlight only caught the outline, long arms hanging unnaturally low, head tilted sideways, as if studying me. I raised the rifle. Who's there? No answer. Just stillness. But the cow behind me, Daisy's corpse, made a sudden sound. A long, wet exhale. I spun around. Her body had moved. Slightly. Barely. But moved. Her front leg twitched again. And a thin stream of blood trickled from her nostril, spreading across the dry grass like a dark spiderweb. My flashlight shook in my hand. The trees whispered. Leaves rustled even though there was no wind. I looked back toward the woods. The tall figure was gone. The second death. I reached the barn, intending to check on the rest of the herd. The moment I opened the door, a wave of cold air hit me. Cold, not cool. Like stepping into a freezer. The cows were silent, all of them, standing perfectly still, their eyes reflecting the flashlight like glass marbles. God. No. I walked between the stalls. Each cow was facing the same direction, toward the back wall of the barn. As if waiting for something. As if listening. The smell of iron was stronger here. Something was very wrong. One of the younger cows, Maple, suddenly jerked her head toward me. Her nostrils flared. Her eyes were wide, panicked. She tried to moo but no sound came out. Just air. I reached out and placed a hand on her neck. Her pulse hammered violently. Faster. Faster. Too fast. Then it stopped. She collapsed against the wood with a heavy thud. Dead. Just like Daisy. No. 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 I backed away, breathing hard. 2 cows dead within an hour. No explanation. No disease spreads that fast, or kills without symptoms. Unless it isn't something natural. My flashlight flickered. The barn lights blinked, and somewhere above me, something scraped along the rafters. Long, slow, dragging. 5. The thing on the roof. The scraping continued, crawling, shifting, sliding. I pointed the flashlight upward, and nearly dropped it. Something was clinging to the rafters, thin, pale limbs wrapped around the wooden beams, body pressed flat like a spider. Its skin looked stretched tight over bones. Its fingers were too long, curling around the wood with an unnatural grip. Its head turned, fast, snapping, until its face pointed straight down at me. Hollow eyes. No eyelids. Just empty, black circles. I stumbled backward, knocking over a bucket as I scrambled toward the barn door. The creature let go. It fell. Not like an animal. Not like something heavy. It fell lightly, like a sheet of paper drifting down, and by the time it hit the dirt floor, it was already standing. Tall. Too tall. Its jaw hung loosely, clicking open and shut. Click. 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 That same sound my dead cows had made when they took their last breaths. I ran. I didn't look back. The creature didn't chase me. It didn't have to. I could hear it moving behind me. Soft steps, almost silent, but fast. I burst out of the barn and sprinted toward the house, slamming the door shut and locking every bolt. The last thing I heard outside was a long, thin scratching along the wooden wall. As if marking me. As if claiming me. 6. The screams of the herd. Around midnight, the cows finally broke their silence. A sound erupted from the barn, one I will never forget. Not mooing, not crying, screaming, like dozens of animals being slaughtered at once. I covered my ears, but it didn't help. Those screams drilled through the walls, through my bones. I crawled under the window, shaking uncontrollably. Something crashed inside the barn. Then another cow fell silent. Then another. By 12:45 a.m., the farm was quiet again. Completely quiet. No screams. No movement. No breathing. The herd was gone. 7. Morning horror. When the first light touched the fields, I forced myself outside. The barn door was wide open. All 42 cows were dead. Every single one. Bodies stiff, eyes wide, no signs of struggle. As if life had been drained out of them in an instant. I stood there, numb, unable to breathe. What could kill 42 cows in less than an hour? No disease, no predator, no human. Only one thing was out of place. A set of long, thin footprints in the dust. They didn't look human. They didn't look animal. They started in the middle of the barn and led straight toward the woods. I should have burned the farm down. I should have left immediately. But something inside me wanted answers. Stupid, deadly, but human. So I followed the prints. They disappeared at the edge of the trees. And there, carved into the bark of the nearest oak, was a symbol, sharp, deep, fresh. A circle, with a long line running down its center. It wasn't carved by a human hand. The cut was too clean, too thin, too precise. The metallic smell was overwhelming. A whisper drifted from the darkness of the forest. More. That's when I ran. Not back home, not to town. I ran without stopping until the sun was high and my legs nearly buckled beneath me. I never returned to that farm. I never went back for my things. I never slept near a forest again. 8. The final warning. 3 months later, the new owner of the farm called me. His voice shook on the phone. Evan, one of the cows died last night. I felt all the blood drain from my face. How? I whispered. Just dropped. No sign of disease. No marks. Eyes wide open. Like someone. He stopped. Then added in a trembling voice. And something is moving in the barn right now. I hung up. I didn't want to hear more. Because I already knew. Whatever killed my cows is still there. Still hungry. Still waiting. And it doesn't just come for animals. It comes for anything that breathes. If this story stayed in your mind longer than it should, leave a like, subscribe to Grim Wave, and tell me in the comments what part disturbed you the most.